For more on the drought and the impact on Brazil, I'm joined by Nicole Oliveira. She's the Latin America Coordinator for Climate Change Organization 350.org. Welcome to the show. Good to have you here. I don't think our international viewers realize how big of a deal this is. I mean, the impact is obviously not just on having water, but also on the economy, on really the future of Brazil. Give us very quickly the impact on the economy in particular.
Hello, Phil. It's very nice to be here also. The impact in the economy is very grave. The water crisis is impacting about 60,000 industries just in the state of São Paulo. It's also impacting the commerce, so there's small business like restaurants and cafes who can no longer serve coffee or plates, regular plates, so they're serving this in plastic plates, and this also, of course, impacts on the ocean quality because of the generation of plastics. It's been forecasted that it will impact the GDP as well as job generation, and there's also a forecast that there's only energy for 1 more month.
And this also comes at a time when this is of the growth of Brazil. It hasn't been necessarily spectacular at all, at least in recent times. This is going to hurt those who want to start up businesses. Which industries, in particular, you mentioned the restaurant industries, are going to be hurt the most by this?
The restaurant industry is being hurt already, but the most impacted industry, it's difficult to forecast how big the impact will be. But the most impacted will be the agribusiness. Agribusiness in Brazil uses 70% of the available water and is also the one responsible for deforestation and for water usage, which is the main source for the water crisis. So they are at the same time causing the problem and suffering from it, unfortunately. The general director of FAO stated today that agribusiness will be suffering the most.
People often think of drought as a short-term thing, right? There's no water right now, but later there might be water. And when you look at the water levels, they're continuing to go lower and lower. Even if it were to rain, even if the drought were to stop tomorrow, is it too late to prevent some of the long-term damage that's occurring?
Unfortunately, the causes of the water problems are deforestation, illegal occupation of water reservoirs, and misusage and mismanagement of the water resources. So there are some problems that can be addressed right away. For example, changing the pipe system in the city of São Paulo, 20% of the water is leaked through the system, so this can be a short-term measure. There's other measures that can be more medium-term and to long-term, for example, cleaning rivers and cleaning water reservoirs. The illegal occupation of the margins of the river and deforestation have to be addressed, but unfortunately, Cerrado, which is the Brazilian savanna, and where the main springs that feed the region of São Paulo and Rio is declared extinct. And the Amazon forest is being deforested so fast and so much that it's almost about to reach a turning point where there's no way back. So it's time to end deforestation right now and stop investing into industries which are harming the country, and invest into industries who are making, like, for example, renewable energy or small farming, agriculture, and so on.
Yeah. I just want to let our viewers know, just now we were showing some of the latest pictures on some of these rivers and lakes that have essentially dried up, some amazing pictures. But you mentioned what the government is doing about fixing the pipes, how 20% of the water gets leaked out because the pipes are essentially bad. What else is the government doing, and how much should they or have they said they're going to spend in terms of trying to fix this problem?
Unfortunately, the government is acting very late. They know about the problem since more than 8 years. They have been warned, and pretty much nothing was done. What they are doing right now is they are rationing water. So the population in some areas of São Paulo are suffering for longer periods of rationing than others. There is forecast that in a couple of weeks there will be 5 days without water and 2 days with water. That's one measure. Of course, it's impacting a lot the consumers and not so much the industry. Yeah. The government is refusing to open the numbers about how much the industry actually uses of water. It's also raising the water prices. So in December of last year, they already raised the water prices for the final consumer by 6.5%. And there is forecast that in the next weeks, it will raise 27.5%. The energy prices are also rising. There's fines being imposed on people who spend more water than their average. And the government is planning on catching water from different sources. For example, there's a reservoir called Billings or a river that crosses São Paulo called Tietê. Unfortunately, these two water sources are very, very polluted. And because of illegal occupation and industry residues, it's very contaminated. So it's risky to serve this type of water for the population.
Nicole Oliveira.
So basically, what I can say is that the government doesn't have a plan.
Nicole, I want to thank you for your time. It's an amazing story, and you mentioned the price hikes. It makes me think about inflation as well, but there's certainly a very big short and long-term impact to this. Thank you again.